Hello, and welcome to this first tutorial on LoDev. LoDev is a LoRa development board with a single integrated chip, or system on a chip, that contains both the LoRa radio and microcontroller. This video is for people new to MBed, STLink programming, and LoDev. If you are familiar with MBed and STLink programming, this video still contains some important information about device configuration and documentation. In this video, we're going to create a simple project that blinks the LED on our board, and then we're going to flash it onto LoDev using the STLink programmer. In upcoming videos, we're going to cover a number of topics, including how to send and receive FSK and LoRa modulated packets, the difference between LoRa modulation and LoRaWAN, and finally, how to connect LoDev to LoRa server or the Things network by sending packets via LoRaWAN. First, we start off by going to MBed.com. Click on the silhouette at the upper right corner and choose the login/signup link. If you are new to MBed, you will want to create a new account at this time. Once you have logged in, you will be redirected to the MBed homepage. To access the online IDE and compiler, click on the yellow compiler button at the top right corner. Now that we are in MBed IDE, we can create our first project. But before we do that, we need to tell MBed what device we are going to be using. To add a new platform, click on the Select Platform link in the upper right corner of the IDE. I already have a platform selected, but if this is your first time through, you may not. LoDev S76S is based on the STM32 microcontroller, and we are going to select the Nucleo L073RZ platform. To do so, click on the Add Board button at the bottom. This will take you to a library of the numerous supported MBed boards. I'm going to filter here on vendor. Select ST Microelectronics. Now scroll down until you find the Nucleo L073RZ. Click on the box with the desired platform and it will take you to the details page. Here I'm seeing a yellow button that says Open in MBed Compiler. If this is your first time through, it should say Add to Compiler. Go ahead and click that button and it should return you to the MBed compiler. Now if you look at the top right corner of the IDE, you will notice that the correct platform is selected. It should say Nucleo L073RZ. Since we're using a LoDev board and not a Nucleo, you will need to refer to the LoDev pinout documentation. Notice that a number of pins that are available on the STM32 microcontroller are already assigned to LoRa radio functions. Using these pins for other purposes will cause the LoRa radio to not function. This diagram will be linked in the description of the video. Now that we have selected our hardware platform, we can create our first project. For this, we're going to select an existing project template to blink LED 1. Click on New. You'll notice that the platform is already selected. We're just going to use the first template which blinks the blue LED called LED 1 on the LoDev board. Instead of calling it Nucleo Blink, I'm going to rename it to LoDev Blinky. Now hit OK. It imports the MBed library by default, and the main file our code is in is conveniently called main. We're going to click into that and see what we've generated. As you can see, it's a pretty simple program. If you are familiar with the Arduino, the bit at the top of the code we might put in the setup method. And the while one is just code that continually loops, just like the loop method in Arduino. It's turning the LED on, waiting a bit, turning it off, and waiting a bit. That's all there is to it. To compile our program, I'm just going to select the compile option at the top. Now your browser is going to ask you to download a bin file that contains the compiled program. I'm just going to click Save here, and the last thing we need to do is load the program we have just saved onto our LoDev device. This part is a little bit different on Mac and Linux, but I'll post links to additional videos and instructions on how to install and use STLink utilities on those platforms at the end of this video. For now, I'm going to walk you through programming LoDev using Windows. First, we need to download the STM32 STLink utility from ST Microelectronics website. You can find it by going to the URL above or searching for the STLink utility. Once we've downloaded the installer, we just need to run it. Unfortunately, ST didn't sign the installer executable correctly, and it causes Windows Defender to display this scary dialog. We can get around it by clicking More Info and then Run Anyway. Not very confidence-inspiring, I know. Once you've done that, just click Next a few times and you'll have the STLink utility installed. Now I'm going to run it by clicking on the new desktop link icon. First, I'm going to load the LoDev program that we've compiled and saved earlier. Before flashing, you'll want to go to Target and Settings and set the reset mode to Software Reset. Lastly, we click on the pen and paper icon, which will write the program to flash. And that's it. You have successfully built and deployed your first LoDev program built with MBed. If everything went according to plan, LoDev should have a blinking blue light. For more info, you can always visit ronath.com, follow at ronath_IoT on Twitter, or subscribe to campaign updates on CrowdSupply.